We are live. It is the Next Round Cocktail Hour. She is Brittany Wagner. She is Kelly Hunter. I am your guest bartender, Ryan Brown. Thank you for joining us. They are going to tweet this out so everybody watches it and share it on Facebook. So they're not being rude.
Not being rude.
And looking at their phones.
Don't
they
add
are
us
looking at
about why are we texting when it starts. That's what we got that the last time. Why are y'all
This is my 15-year-old daughter.
I try to explain to people.
My face
That's what they're doing.
Awful on that screenshot thing from starting it.
Oh no. Don't judge Brittany by the face.
Don't judge my face on that.
The Next Round Cocktail Hour is presented by Next Round Cocktails, a line of crowd-pleasing cocktails made with real fruit juice and premium wine, stylishly packaged in convenient formats, simplifying the pour. Premium quality cocktails using natural ingredients, ready-to-drink cocktails that taste like they were freshly made at home with none of the fuss in a convenient format. Simply pour over ice and enjoy. They're about to do that with the Rosé Sangria, the strawberry lime Rosé Sangria. Also, our friends at Blakely's Bouquets, baby gifts, anniversary arrangements.
Baby trees.
Baby trees.
Baby trees and baby gifts.
You know, exactly.
Birthday flowers, wedding flowers, sympathy funeral flowers in Birmingham. Blakely's Bouquets is your best choice. Blakely'sBouquets.com.
Are our glasses the same? I was going to be a good hostess and give you this glass.
Oh, sure.
Oh, how nice.
Because
I'm not getting the Twitter one.
Oh,
but
no.
It's okay.
Oh, no.
Kelly did it.
I did it.
Kelly did it. It's at Next Round Live.
Oh,
there it goes.
There
Maybe
you
it is
got
on
it
there now.
If I can do it.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm
Okay.
literally a monkey.
So, I caught up on White Lotus, by the way.
So,
I didn't watch last night's yet, so
Oh,
Lance
where was
and
one last
Jim-
night?
every Sunday night.
Oh, well, then I'm not
so
caught up.
you're not caught up
Just
on
kidding.
Every
White
Sunday
Lotus.
night.
So Lance and Jim talk about this show a lot.
You don't watch it?
I have not watched White
Ah.
Lotus.
It's it took the first season. It took me a while to get into. The second season, I felt like they kicked off. Maybe because we knew what
Because
to
you already
expect.
knew, yeah.
Yeah, and it's kind of a Tarantino where it starts at the end and then you kind of go back to the beginning, and it's interesting.
It is. So I've heard it. They describe it as very awkward.
It
There's
is.
a lot of awkward in it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Lots of awkward.
Lots of awkward.
Lots of like, whoa, wait, what?
Yeah.
Moments.
Yeah.
You think it's going one way and then you're like, whoa, time out. What?
Yeah.
And it definitely, I have small children, so that's why I can only watch it after everybody's gone.
After
to bed.
bedtime.
Yeah,
Yeah.
after-
Because I've also heard that there are some very adult themes in it.
Yes. We are.
I got caught up on season 2.
So do a lot of women watch it?
I think so.
I mean, I was telling the people at Fabric who loaned me their clothes, I was watching because one of the girls had in some earrings that I'd worn this past fall that I got at Fabric. I'm like, I do like some of the clothes. I love the scenery. I love.
What's that actress's name? The main, oh man, I don't know, but she's incredible in it.
Jennifer Coolidge?
Yes.
Oh,
my
Jennifer
God,
Coolidge. She
she's
plays,
so
but she
good
plays
in
the
that.
she
The
plays
kind
the
of-
same role.
The stumbling.
Well, the oversexed, kind of aloof.
Yeah. She does aloof well.
Ditzy. She plays it so well that you wonder if it's just art imitating life, if that's like who she really is.
I was listening to something that said she is a difficult person to work with. I don't know if
Really?
that is true.
Jennifer Coolidge is?
That's
Yes,
disappointing.
but also what they were saying is part of it could be the set is very young on the White Lotus. And
Yeah.
she is
She's definitely the oldest
older and
person
has
on
been
there.
probably working.
Well, it was
yeah.
on American Pie as well. Like, I mean,
Yes.
that's where I think for most people, I'm not going to say that was her best work, but I think for most people that was their introduction to Jennifer Coolidge.
Yeah.
She looked great.
Was
in that.
Stifler's mom.
Yes. She
in
looked
American
great
Pie.
in that. And then also in Best in Show.
Oh,
of my
so
all-
funny.
See, that's
Mr.
where
Show.
I
Favorite
remember her from.
Yeah.
Documentaries, yes. Best in
Yeah.
Show.
Have you watched the rest of theirs?
Yes,
Yes.
I have.
A Mighty Wind
Yes.
is very funny.
What's
Waiting for Guffman.
Waiting
where they're
for
doing the play.
Guffman. I honestly think that movie's the hardest I've ever laughed in a movie
Yeah.
before. Like, oh my god.
I had rather watch one of the mockumentaries than an actual documentary, which does not say a lot
Yes.
about my intelligence level.
I'm with you.
Oh, come on,
Mainly
Britt.
because
I like a good documentary.
I
There's
like
one documentary.
Oh, no. Of course. I put that in art. I don't put that in
Exactly.
documentary.
and also I like when you can laugh at yourself. In
Yeah.
yours, yes, you could laugh at yourself. In
Oh,
some
yeah.
respects.
I have
But
to.
no, in these, I like when people can make fun of themselves.
Yeah, I mean, Fred Willard is so funny in them.
I need to go back and watch that.
Jennifer
You
Coolidge.
think it's on somewhere? Like, if
Oh,
you
yeah,
stream,
you
try
can
to
find
stream
it.
And then there was the one where, it was about the lady who was getting Oscar buzz. They did another one about like the Oscars.
Yeah.
And it was about like, anyway,
Hmm.
they are a
Well,
fun troop. So yes, go ahead.
I started Candy.
Never heard of this. We have found that Brittany has
Hulu.
an extensive list of shows.
Well, I started Candy. It's on Hulu. It's Jessica Biel.
Okay.
That looks nothing like her character though looks nothing like her, but she produced it and she stars in it, and it's supposedly based on a true story. But I'm trying to figure out what story it's based on. I don't know.
I don't know anything about.
But it's like an
film.
80s family, and like someone ends up dying, and,
Oh, no.
and like it's a murder thing kind of,
Okay.
but it's kind of starts at the end, and then you're working your way back through it or whatever. But what's amazing to me about this show is I'm thinking about like the set, and I'm like, where did they find all of this
That
actual
amazes me.
80s stuff? Like there's a lot of
Right.
scenes where they're on the phone, and it's like the phones, and you're like, that phone literally
That's
was in
somebody's
my
job.
grandmother's house.
But
You know, it's like
that's somebody's job to go
that
out
couch.
and find all those things,
Yes.
and how like that they have them like just alphabetized and categorized.
I would love to go in that warehouse, man, because it is something else.
Same thing when they did Stranger Things. It's like how they
Yes.
brought back so many, and I think that's why so many people identified with it as you're watching.
But I got
yourself.
down a rabbit hole watching that
Okay.
show. And here's my
Are they
question.
half
Okay.
hour,
Okay.
45
Here's my
minutes?
question.
All right.
They're like 45-minute, 50-minute
Mhm.
episodes, but there's only 5 of them in season 1, so I'm almost finished. Okay. Question. You cannot look it up on your phone.
I'm not. I'm just returning. Go ahead.
Was Target around in the 80s?
Yes.
So it was based out of
Minnesota. Yep.
Minneapolis, I think.
My Aunt Kathy worked for them.
Yeah, I'm going to say you probably had it like locally Minnesota, but it was not nationwide. Why?
They became a global phenomenon in
Yeah.
like the 90s, 2000s.
Why do you ask that?
Because in episode 1 of this show
Of what? Of Stranger
Of-
Things?
of
No, it's
Candy,
Oh, Candy.
and it's like
Sorry.
clearly set in the 80s.
I know.
Stay with
I've
me
been listening
here.
to you. Go ahead.
Stay with
I
me.
got you. I got you.
Candy, clearly set in the 80s. It gives you the year. It's one of those that like gives you the year. It's 80s. And episode 1, she busts out that she's going to the Target, and I'm like, oh hell no. I mean, it's like a pause, like a 45-minute research for me, because I'm like,
Where's
that's
it set?
so wrong. There wasn't a Target in the 80s.
Where was it set?
Plano, Texas.
Yeah.
No way
I'm with
there was a
Brittany. I think
Target.
she's probably right about
I'm
this.
because in Minnesota, if it were taking place in Minneapolis or Duluth or
Yeah.
I would say that, yes, she probably was going to the Target.
I almost stopped and was like, I'm not watching anymore because you just lost me. You said you're not going to freaking Target.
Yeah.
I don't know where you would go in the 80s though. Like then I started thinking,
Well,
like,
I mean,
was it
Walmart. There was
or
Walmart's, yeah.
Were they?
Yes, there were Walmarts in the 80s.
I don't know.
Yes,
Different.
100%.
If you lived
Not in Arkansas.
No, and I grew up in Anniston, just down the road. There was a Walmart in the 80s in Anniston. 100%.
Are you sure?
Yes, Brittany. Now, it used to have, I'll tell you this.
I don't think we had them in Mississippi in the 80s. I'm just saying.
You went very Mississippi dialect in that too. No. There were Walmarts in the 80s. No, 100%. I mean, I was a little kid. We had a Walmart and a Kmart, and we were not even a big town. I mean, it's
No, I remember
The
Kmart.
Kmart, I would say yes, it's
100%.
around in the 80s.
No, we had a Walmart.
Walmart?
Yes.
I don't
no, we had a
know, man.
Walmart, and it had like the font they used for the sign was a very Western motif.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You know, like Western letters, how they have the
Yeah.
Remember back it
Kinda
was Fall
Western
into the Gap back in the like their whole ad,
Yeah.
like they had a whole different.
Yeah. So no, there were Walmarts. Now they were smaller. You know, they were much smaller. They were probably more akin, like size wise, maybe to like a Dollar General or something. Maybe bigger, a little bigger than a Dollar General. I don't know what to compare it to.
There are so many things.
They
that-
weren't the
that-
super Walmart
Yeah.
though. No.
See, I'm thinking like Fred's. Like there was a Fred. You know, like I was like,
Yeah, we
there
had a Fred's.
I was trying to think like what should that store have been in the
Yes.
script there other than a Target.
Eckerd Drugs or
And
Big
I
B
could
Drugs.
not come up with anything other than Fred's.
Now Kelly grew up in Atlanta. They had everything in Atlanta.
Oh, we did. Yeah, but I was telling my husband though, there are so many things from our childhood that are totally different. Whenever he'll say something like, "Well, we never went out to dinner this many times when I was their age," I'm like, "No, nobody did.
No, there were not places to go.
No, you did. Your dad, as
Yeah.
he said, my dad would pick up Captain D's on Friday night and bring it home, and
Oh,
we'd sit there and
yeah.
eat Captain D's. That was a big night. It's like I know. No, we never went anywhere.
No. And I can remember vividly the first Mexican restaurant we had. And there was like
Oh,
a 2-hour wait. Like there's a Mexican restaurant on every corner now.
now. But
Now if it's a 2 hour
You know,
You're
back
right,
then there was
you're
a
right.
2-hour wait,
You're
and people
right.
would
Yeah.
wait
Yeah.
for Mexican food.
Where was
And it
your
was
Sunday
legit.
after church place? Did y'all go out to dinner, out to lunch Sunday
Yeah,
after
we
church?
mixed it up. I tell you, in summer a lot. You're gonna love this. And like the good weather months, backyard burger
What? There was a backyard burger
in Anniston. Yeah,
when you were little?
yeah. Well, I mean, that was probably high school at this point.
Okay.
Captain D's would get in the rotation. A lot of people go to
Yeah.
Captain D's. Probably when I was younger, more like Quincy's.
Oh, the rolls. At
Those
Quincy.
yeast rolls were phenomenal. Did you ever have Quincy's? Did you have Quincy's in
Oh, I
Atlanta?
love
I think I've been to a Quincy's, but
Yeah.
we
You're
were
so
Catholic,
highbrow.
so we go get some donuts on the way home and be
Yeah.
done with it. So no, we didn't
Really?
go. We didn't
Y'all
go.
didn't go to
no,
Catholics would eat lunch?
after?
No, I mean, we.
That was like the only time we went out to eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had 4 masses before noon, so there wasn't.
You had
like, yeah,
bread
like people
with
were like,
communion.
Yeah.
you only went for an hour and you were done. It's
We,
not like where you tried to beat the Baptists.
Yeah.
Whenever they were getting out of church.
No, we would do Quincy's, and I tell you what, Quincy's would have. They had the yeast rolls,
Oh yeah.
and they had the baked potato bar,
Yes.
where like you could get a baked potato and you
Yes.
could go load it up with chili and
Yeah,
cheese.
There was a
and-
Quincy's
oh,
in Starkville, Mississippi. But no, our place was Golden Corral.
Oh,
yeah.
That was like where we went every Sunday. We alternated between the Golden Corral and the cafeteria at Mississippi College. Like that, those were our
The
two
Cap.
after church places.
Those sound good.
But
to
I
me.
used to think like the Golden Corral was like fancy.
fine dining.
Like we got to go to the Golden Corral.
So we had Western Sizzlin',
Yeah.
which
Oh,
is
yeah.
it was kind of
Sizzler.
like the Sizzler, but this was no, this was a knockoff Western Sizzlin'
Oh.
with an N, not
Just
Sizzler.
kidding.
So it was basically a Golden Corral. You went and got the buffet. You get the
You got
buffet
the
or you could
tray?
go off the
Wasn't it-
menu.
what
Yeah.
was it in the
Oh,
Purdue
Morrison's.
American?
Morrison's.
McDowell's. It's not
McDowell's,
McDonald's. It's McDowell's.
It's
not
McDowell's.
This is Western
And
Sizzlin'.
they walk in on John Amos, the dad. He's looking through McDonald's. He shuts it down. What do you think? All right, if you're watching us on YouTube, thank you for doing that. Please give us a thumbs up and make sure you've liked and subscribed wherever you're watching us. If you could share us on Facebook, retweet us, give us a thumbs up there. That helps a lot. Fire off some comments. We'll get to those in a second. Bob's got one, the Pizza Hut. They used to
Oh,
go to
yeah.
Pizza Hut, video games and jukebox.
Yep.
The sitting down video game.
So again, we had
Pizza Hut buffet.
we had pizza in.
Oh wow, Aniston.
Aniston was a little bougie.
Yeesh.
Is that a good use of the word
You
bougie?
know what? When I moved to Jacksonville, Alabama in
'Cause I went to college there.
2001,
We found out we weren't there at the same time, right? Because you didn't move
I
till 2001.
worked there. I moved there and started working there in 2001.
Okay, so I had just left.
Okay.
Yeah, so we just missed each
Yeah.
other.
I called my parents though, my mom, when I moved. Don't get offended.
Oh no, Brittany, I won't.
So sorry
It has
if I offend
changed. No,
anyone.
it has changed so much. Since then.
However, I called my mom. I'm like, Mom, I have just moved to the above ground pool capital of the world.
I don't think it's that bad,
Like,
Brittany.
everybody had an above ground
I don't remember that
pool.
part of it. I thought you were going to make fun of
Everyone.
I thought you were going to make fun of the dining choices in Jacksonville.
There weren't any.
I know.
I mean, Cooter Brown's.
Cooter Brown's
and
Rib
this-
Shack, which was good.
what was the chicken place that was in the gas station?
Struts.
Struts.
They didn't even have that when I was there.
love
No,
Struts.
no, Kelly. Where did you went to Miami,
I went to Miami, Ohio.
University of Miami.
No, it is
Miami
University, I'm sorry.
Ohio.
We were a university before Florida was a state. If anyone wants to check
Oh,
that.
seriously?
Yeah, I'm not going to fact check it. I'm
Yes,
going to take your word
please
for it.
go ahead.
No, so what did you have a lot of dining options
We
there?
did, but it was all like local stuff. Oh, but we did have a Skyline chili, which is one of the most disgusting things.
I've never
chili
had
is
Skyline chili.
huge in Ohio.
That was
They
on a
have
show
fast-
I just
Yeah,
watched.
they have fast food chili.
Is that on? Wait, what show was that just on?
Skyline
I
chili.
watched?
But no, we had a lot of local places. But you know, again, when you're in college, you're like, it's food, it's hot. This sounds good.
Yeah, we had nothing. There was a Pizza Hut buffet though.
Was there?
Oh yeah, you had to go to the other side of town. to
I
get
remember the
Pizza
Little
Hut buffet.
Caesars had $5 pizza on Friday. And we were so poor. That's what we had to eat every
Oh
Friday.
no, no!
was
I
the
tell my
$5 pizza.
kids all the time till they're tired of hearing it. There was a place there called New Times.
I
Mm.
don't
I'm
know
sure it
that
went out of
Oh,
one.
business.
wow.
It was a drive-through,
Okay.
and you could get 3 burgers, three burgers for $1.
Oh,
So if I was really broke, I would just eat the 3 burgers. If I actually had money, 3 burgers for $1, a fry and a drink for $2.99.
Wow, that's a deal.
It is.
No?
I'm not
I
going
want
to
to know
tell
where
you the
they're getting
burgers
the
were.
beef. I want to know where they, yeah.
Oh, I don't know if it was even beef.
And
Kelly.
who's working there? But that's okay.
Well, I mean, when you're a broke college kid, that's your only option.
When I worked in Kansas, I remember to go back to my apartment, there was the Burger King right there. And it was like the 2 for $2.22 where you got 2 burgers,
Heck
and
yeah.
2 orders of fries. And I'd eat 1 burger and 1 order of fries and put the other in the refrigerator and then have that for dinner the next night.
God.
I mean, like you think about
Oh, wow, yeah.
like the times you have worked so hard to get out of a job that you're just like,
Yeah.
I don't want to live like this anymore.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'm going to work so incredibly hard that I don't have
Yeah.
to stay here any longer.
Yeah. The 4 for $4 at Wendy's gets me today.
Yes.
Like today, I'm like, man, I can go to Wendy's and For $4, I can get 4
Reggie Bush
things.
is starting to make
I
sense.
know, he really is.
I'm seeing it. I'm liking where Reggie's got his head.
Do you remember the Wendy's Super Bar?
Yes. Oh
You
my
could get
gosh.
spaghetti, Brittany.
Yep.
No.
At Wendy's?
At Wendy's, yes, they had spaghetti.
Oh,
They had a
that's
super
not
bar.
right.
It was like no. It was like a salad bar, a baked potato bar,
I love a
It
baked
was a
potato
super bar.
and then you had spaghetti. You could get spaghetti at
Mhm.
Wendy's. It was the Wendy's Super
That
Bar.
kind of gross.
That
You know
was-
what that
that's what
was?
we
They
had in
chopped up
college.
them all hamburgers.
Oh.
Yeah, I can't imagine what it
Ew.
was.
If you
I
cook
ate
it
it.
in the sauce, it'll be fine.
Yeah, I ate
It'll be
it. I
fine.
can't imagine what
We
it
won't
was.
see that it's green if we.
Okay, I have a relevant. I wrote down 3 questions. I have a
Okay,
relevant
well, we've
question.
got some on email too, but fire away.
Okay,
Go.
if you could pay to never have to throw up again,
Oh, yes. I don't know what I'd
i.e. the
pay.
tummy bug, would you?
I mean, how much?
That's what I'm wondering. Like, if we, oh, that's my other question. What my son has the tummy bug right now.
I'll be
And I was
dead.
thinking about that, like, because like when you have it, you're just like, I never want to throw up again.
Yeah.
Like, if you could pay $5,000, or would you rather never have a hangover again or never throw up again?
I've never had a hangover. I've never now. So my 2 coworkers on the show have both had them. Dunaway described it to me once as like, have you ever had brain freeze? I was like, yeah. He goes, a hangover is permanent brain freeze. That headache you get when you
Yeah.
have brain freeze.
Yeah.
So I've
Doesn't go
never,
away for like 2 days.
I've never drank to the excess that I had
Mhm.
a hangover. So I don't know what that feels like.
Okay.
I fight throwing up with every fiber of my body.
Yeah, I know.
I fight it. Like I'd rather do anything. But
How do
throw
you? But you can't. I mean, at some point, it's coming out.
It's gonna have to get really bad. Like I will eat Tums. I'll hold it down. I mean, I will do anything I
Okay.
can to fight throwing up.
See, I'm the one that's like, just get
Yep,
it
I
over.
can't-
with.
Get it over,
Get it
get done
out.
with
I know that's what
Just
everybody says.
get it-
Like, just do it and be
It's
done with it.
Be done with
Can't do
it.
it. Can't do it. It has been. We've been living in our current house since 2015. I've never thrown up in that house.
That is so funny that you know that.
Oh, I do know that.
Yeah.
I would tell you the year. I want to say it was 2008 was the last time.
Just because you were sick, or
Yeah, I was sick at that time. Like that was when my
Wow.
oldest was still young, and young kids bring
yeah.
every virus in the
Yeah.
world into the house. And that, what is it? The
Rotavirus?
rotavirus
Uh-huh.
was going through the schools, and it got me, hard.
Yeah.
But
Uh-huh.
yeah, since then I have not. I
Okay.
think it's 2008. I want to say it was 2008 was the last time.
Okay, I'm with you.
I fight it with every fiber of
you?
my being.
Pay
I would.
like $5,000 to never throw up again.
That would be a small
Oh.
price to pay.
Really?
Yes,
See, I
$5
don't know.
grand.
I don't know. I'm like, clearly I haven't thrown up in a while.
No,
Well, I haven't
fine
either.
dining just made me think of
'Cause I
that.
would
I was
like-
like, that would be a good segue into my first question
Yeah.
here. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. Yes. That
No,
was,
I
I
you've
have
got
had
more?
food
Okay, yes,
poisoning
next one.
before,
Okay.
and
You what?
I've had food poisoning before and like been in that spot where like you can't. There's nothing you can do.
No.
You know, like you just can't.
you have to
stop
get it out of your system.
And
And,
it's that's
Misery.
awful.
Misery.
That's awful.
Misery.
again, when you think you're like,
But I would
I'm
see.
done throwing up.
I would almost. Well, never mind.
Have
I would
it-
almost throw up, then have it come out the
have
other,
the other
end.
side.
Oh, I mean, those
I
are
know.
bad choices, but I think I'm going to go with the other side.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Those are bad choices, though. I'm not saying you got good choices
I
here,
mean, at some point that, yeah.
but everything's a bad choice.
Yeah.
Okay. And I don't claim to be as worldly as Lance,
Right?
but
Who is,
As
though? Who
worldly
is?
as land.
Who is Kelly?
do you ever hear or read a term and you want to Google it, but you're afraid to Google it
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
because you don't know? You're like, this could legit be like something normal, or I could like be like my computer gets flagged for just like something indecent, like
Yeah.
something that you're like, oh, I would never.
Well,
wow, wish
what I
had
hate
not
doing
looked
is
that
using
bad.
a phrase that I've heard and then going to Urban Dictionary
Yeah.
and like, have I used a phrase I shouldn't be using here?
oh yeah.
Or-
Because I feel like I'm super naive when it comes to stuff like
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
Like I could use an example from this show actually that I had no idea.
This
until later, way
Yeah.
later, and then
This
I was
show?
like, "Whoa!"
Or White Lotus?
Take it back.
Did I?
This show,
Who
This
said
show.
it?
everyone.
Y'all said it.
But I
Have I said
have
it?
no idea what it meant really until I looked it up, and then I was like, "Oh my god, absolutely not! No, hard no."
There was an SNL.
It
skit
was
about
our
them.
hashtag thing
Oh,
or whatever.
oh, yeah,
I had
oh,
no
yeah.
idea.
You
No
didn't know?
idea. Okay.
I knew
Anyway,
that one at least.
yeah.
Yeah, Dave
no.
Chappelle. I mean,
I just
it
feel
was
like
on
I'm
SNL.
so naive to stuff like that, and so I probably would go to Urban Dictionary and like croak if
Oh,
I
yeah.
knew what half the things
I know,
meant.
but there's times when I'll either hear some, I'll hear something on Twitter, or I'll read something. I'm like, and one of my best friends, he was checking something out that somebody said about the Braves. So he Googled the term and he was at work. And he gets a call from HR to come down
No.
to the office because they were like, why were you looking up this phrase? And he was like, why, is it bad? And they were like, did you find it? And they're like, no, the site was blocked. I'm like, yeah, the site was blocked because
Yeah,
this
there's
is
a
what it
reason.
means. And he was mortified to have looked it up on his work computer because it was like the Atlanta Braves or blah, blah, and so he looked it up. He was like, what are they? Oh my gosh,
It's
that's what they're
flagged
comparing the
forever
Braves
now.
to.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the beauties though of having a teenage daughter, which I do is
They keep you, well, we all have them and they keep
Yeah.
you fairly in
yeah.
the
But
loop.
sometimes mine's got a good sense of humor. Sometimes she'll feed me a word that I know she's trying to get me to say, right? Just as a
Oh,
joke.
Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah.
thought of this because I was watching a clip from, it was like NFL Films. And I was like watching these, I was listening to what these guys were saying. They were all laughing. I'm like, I'm going to look up that word. And it was fine. I looked up, but I was like, it was one of those from like,
Mm-hmm.
Or
What
sometimes
am
I've learned, and I'm not going to repeat them, but I've learned too, like phrases your grandfather used might not keep
No,
their,
exactly, yeah.
they might not be culturally
Appropriate
appropriate
anymore.
now.
They
Yeah.
might not have kept well. over
Right,
time.
right. And I'll
Yeah,
think back
yeah.
sometimes to something you heard people of that generation say, maybe not
Right.
even my grandparents, but people of that generation. I'm like,
Yeah.
I know the meaning of that now. That
Right.
really wasn't that nice.
It's not okay.
Yeah,
It's
I
not
don't-
okay in
yes.
2022.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
you were negotiating, but using a religious group to describe that probably was not
Right.
the best thing. Yes. It is the Next Round Cocktail Hour presented by Next Round Cocktails, a line of crowd pleasing cocktails made with real fruit juice. They are enjoying the Rosé Sangria, strawberry lime Rosé Sangria. Premium cocktails. You can see more at drinknextround.com. That is drinknextround.com. Also, Blakely's Bouquets in Homewood. Plenty of room for customization, uniqueness. Every arrangement they sell, anniversary arrangements, new baby gifts, birthday flowers, all the options, wedding flowers, sympathy funeral flowers. You can see more at blakeleysbouquets.com. That is blakeleysbouquets.com.
Okay. I mean, I don't want to.
I've got some emails, but I know, keep going.
No,
No,
this
keep
is
going. I
good.
like this.
Okay. OnlyFans.
Oh.
I've never visited the site. Kelly.
Why aren't I was reading an article about what some people make on OnlyFans.
Yeah, it can get crazy. Well, I mean, you have to.
I could have.
How
Well,
far
people
would
have
you
said
be
I could
willing?
have I could have a foot site on OnlyFans
That's
and
right.
just keep it clean by just selling pictures of my feet
Yes.
and make
Or judging
millions of
people's
dollars,
ankles, like with
maybe.
Hugh Freeze
Or
lights
judging
his
And there you go.
ankles.
So there we go. That's like, I'm like, we could do
I
a
don't
whole
know.
thing on that because there's a whole. I just don't think we're monetizing it enough.
OnlyFans.
Can we do this show on OnlyFans?
I don't know. I don't know.
People have literally DM'd me and been like, "Do you have an OnlyFans?" And I'm like, "Do
mean-
you think I have an
Yeah, I mean-
OnlyFans? Like,
Well-
what do you think
I mean,
I'm
here's some of
gonna
these numbers,
put?"
like 25 million, and you're just
Oh,
like,
I know.
what?
But then here's what we stumble across this in trash all the time
Yeah.
on the show.
I'm
Like,
not
and
gonna
we don't
sell my
even
soul
use
for it.
them. We don't we'll get an occasional OnlyFans story, but there's so many of this version that we don't even use them. The school teacher that had an OnlyFans site on the side and her students found it. And I'm like, you didn't think they were going to find that?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like
Well,
you
know
thought you were
what's
going to keep that
funny
covered
is,
up?
Like the student that has an OnlyFans, like I've heard of this scenario. I won't say at what school, but I heard of this scenario where a student had an OnlyFans and a professor found it and then went and complained that the student had it, and the whoever he
professor was
complained to
clearly-
was like, "Well, how do you know?
Yeah, you were on
goofball?"
there,
Like,
yeah.
what the hell,
Yeah.
dude?
So that was college at least. When
Yeah.
you started, I thought it
Yeah.
was going to be high school.
No,
Yeah, you're on there trolling to make sure your students aren't up to no
Right.
good. Yeah.
Right.
whatever.
I am, I've never visited the site,
I
so
haven't
I
either,
can't really
but
speak
I
on it,
haven't
but we do
either.
get a lot of stories on it.
I know. I'm just
But like, you have to pay. Like, I don't even know how it works.
Well, I
like,
think,
do you have to?
again, I want to be
subscribe
abundantly
and pay?
clear. I'm just based, I think you pay per, like you could say, I'll give you foot photos for $100. And
They
you
could
send
also
them to-
DM you for extra.
and-
Like,
yeah.
But like, I have a page that's on
I think that they subscribe to.
OnlyFans.
Mhm.
It's a website.
yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
And then I ask people to subscribe to my page,
Right.
and then I can sell them.
Yep.
And then they
You
can
could-
also DM you
Things.
like, "Hey, we just want to see this," and you're like, "Okay, for 2,500."
Hey,
Yeah.
I should get on there and be like, for $10 million,
That's right.
That's
You
what
never know.
That's what made me think of
and
this.
just
is like,
see what
I was
happens.
reading an article about what some people make on this site,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, that is
Like, I think
stupid.
you could say, I want you to stick your foot in whipped cream. And you would say, okay, for $100, I'll do that.
Well, shit, yeah, I'll stick my foot in whipped cream for $100.
I
I mean,
mean,
it's not
that
my
was-
problem what you
I
do
know.
on the other side.
Exactly.
That was
I don't
an
have to watch you, right?
Let me see how much I got in my wallet here.
I know. So that's why I'm
But
like,
here, okay, this brings me to another thing.
that's why I'm like, why aren't we monetizing?
I
this?
know. Now I'm like, maybe I should get an
Hey, sharks.
OnlyFans page. I don't know.
Sure.
No, but I'm on Cameo. Do y'all are y'all familiar
Yeah,
with
yeah,
Cameo?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I'm on Cameo.
Have you used it much? Do you get a lot of requests?
When I first got on it, I got a ton. Like
Okay.
almost to the point that I couldn't. It was hard to keep
Yeah.
up.
How soon
Like, I had to
after
change
Last
my
Chance
settings.
were you on there?
Cameo, right when it came out, which I don't know, was that a
Cameo?
couple years ago?
Yeah, I think
Cameo?
Cameo is relatively new.
Yeah, I think it came out maybe 2 years ago. I got on it right when they asked me.
Right.
My friend Lance Bass is one of the co-owners.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so they asked me to be on it right when it came out. So it was probably 3 years after. I mean, if I had been on it right after,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I'd made a
Yeah.
ton of money. But it was a little bit after. But still, I now I only get a few things, periodically. But I was kind of crushing it at one point. But anyway, I got one the other day. From it pops up and I'm like, okay, cool. And like a lot of, like the other day, I got one from some high school Canadian football team. They're about to play for the championship and they want a motivational message from
Yeah.
Miss Wagner. I mean, I love doing this.
Yeah.
But then I got another one. I'm like, oh, I'm kind of on a roll. This is good. I pull it up and it is this
It's Hugh Freeze.
dude.
Were you talking about my
Damn it,
ankles?
I'm like, don't bury the lead. Come on, Brittany.
No, it was some rando who was like, okay, I want you to send me this message, but I want you to wear your hair in 2 low ponytails and put on a leather
Mm.
jacket and do that. And I'm like,
Okay,
hail
we've
to the no.
we've crossed over into OnlyFans at
This
this
is
point. Yeah,
OnlyFans now.
this is
Okay.
Cameo. This is OnlyFans.
I'm like, and so you can like, I was like,
Silence.
reported it. You can like
Yeah.
say to Cameo, I'm not doing this, and here's why I'm not doing it. And I did. I'm like, no, I'm not doing this. Here's why.
What percent? I mean, I don't want to get too personal here, but what percent of, like, if I pay, say, $300 for so and so's Cameo, what percent do you get? It probably varies
I don't
based
even
on.
know.
You don't even know. I've always wondered that because, like, I mean, there's some high dollar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We looked like when we first started, we were going to get some random people to do cameos, like, hey, but you're
So
kind of.
excited, guys. We're big
Yeah.
fans.
My buddy's the next, my
Yeah.
buddies are leaving, the radio and they're starting the next round. There's some limits on stuff they'll do. Like some people won't do stuff like that because they don't even know what they're
promotional.
They're
advertising.
endorsing things that they really
Yeah,
don't.
we ran
Yeah.
into a lot of problems with that, but we had a list of people who were going to get to do cameos. And I was wondering as I was
Yeah.
pricing out that list, I was like, what percentage of this does Mr. T get? If Mr. T
It's-
doesn't come over.
Is there a sliding scale that Mr.
I would
T
imagine
I
like
don't
big.
know.
No, I bet he would get more than because he's a big celebrity.
Okay.
I don't know.
Like I bet an A list would get more than a C list.
Yeah, like I'm just, like
More
LeBron
percentage.
James.
Well,
Yeah.
you can set your own price though too.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
So you
Like
can.
they'll have a conversation with you where they'll tell you where they think your price should be
Okay.
based on your celebrity status. But I've gone in and changed my price.
Yeah.
I mean, you can go in and adjust your own price. So I mean, I guess if you think you're a big shot, you could put which
Yeah,
I don't
you'll
even
find
think
out
I'm
real
a big
quick.
shot, but
Yeah.
at some times of the year when I just don't
When-
want to
when-
do it, I'll yank my price up real
Or when I
high.
knock on your door and you've got 2 low ponytails, I'm like, Brittany.
You're like another
And
cameo.
a
It's
leather
okay.
jacket. 2 low ponytails. I mean, so descriptive.
I know,
2
right?
low ponytails.
Told
on a
me
leather jacket.
exactly what to wear.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like lingerie. It was like jeans and this color t-shirt and a leather jacket. I'm like, this guy has like a
And
grease
you can just
fetish
imagine.
or
You can just
something.
imagine watching going. Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Look at her. now.
Ew.
Ugh.
And today you're giving away the milk for free. You got the leather pants on.
And leather pants.
Dog it.
Dude, at least I'm not showing my toes though.
Tool Man says, I'm an older guy, so I get caught by younger people saying things that make sense when questioned. They are speaking from the Urban Dictionary. So he doesn't know the Urban Dictionary.
See, I don't either. I used to have athletes that would say stuff in my office and I would just sit there stoically and they would
Mhm.
all start laughing.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't get the joke. And then like John Franklin used to do this to me all the time. Like they would all be in there laughing and I would just be sitting there like not sure what the heck was going on. And then he would walk out of my office, turn around and go Urban Dictionary. And then I would go to Urban Dictionary and type it in and be mortified that conversation had just taken place
And you
in my
had no idea.
office. And I had no idea what they were
Yeah.
talking about.
I know.
Yeah.
Although sometimes, like, I'll have students be like, no cap, Miss Falls. I'm like, I know what that
No.
means, okay? I know a few things, but
I'm not a
you
complete
go beyond,
idiot.
you go beyond that, and I'm like,
I'll tell you what really got me. It was my 18-year-old, not long ago. Like, I didn't even know this was a thing for her. She'd had a big test. I go, hey, did you take that test? She goes, yes, sir. I said, what did you make? She goes, I got a DN. I said, a DN? She goes, D nuts. I was like, You're a teenage girl. You're doing these nuts jokes. I'm so proud right now.
She thought you were gonna be mad, and you're like,
yeah, I think-
high-fiving
yeah,
it?
no, I laughed, and now, of course, now that I know that's on the table,
Yeah.
I've got a large glossary of these nuts jokes.
Yes.
I've been telling those for years. So
It is not. It is great when your kids get to a certain age,
Yeah.
and like you can start letting the cap off a little bit. Like,
yeah, they're basically adults at that
yeah,
point.
but when you can start making jokes like that, or you can start saying more, because for the longest time you couldn't say anything.
That's right,
around
right,
your
right,
kids.
right.
And as they get into high school and things like
You figure they've heard it.
they have.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. I always joke. I'm like, language is the least of my concerns when my kids are watching stuff for the most part.
Right,
because
right. They've heard all that.
Oh,
They've
stuff.
lived through football season. They have heard most
Yeah.
of it.
We were at the
especially by now.
soccer field not that long ago, and one of our parents, unfortunately, started dropping the F-bomb very loudly at something, a situation that was going on, and he was like yelling, F this and F that, and like it was like a grandfather from the other team that had come to watch the game, and he's like, "Hey, watch your language. There's kids out here," and one of our parents turned around and goes, "They taught it to us." Like,
It's okay.
nothing they haven't heard, man.
Did the guy keep going though? Did he keep dropping F-bombs?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he didn't stop?
He didn't care.
Mm.
Oh, you didn't care.
Next Round Cocktails, drinknextround.com. Also, Blakely's Bouquets here on the Next Round Cocktail Hour. We've got a few email questions we try to get to here in the time we have left. Brent from Oxford says, if you could pick any two people to eat your last meal with, who would you pick and why? Last two people you'd want to eat a meal with. I guess we can go dead or alive. Like, we can get real fictional here. So the last two people you'd want to eat a meal with,
I'm thinking.
Kennedy, my child.
right? So if you knew it was your last meal, that'd be kind of sad though. Like,
No, I feel like I would need that. I need like whatever my time limit is. Like I need to tell you everything that you need to know for the rest of your life, and I have an hour to do it. Like I would be like here's all the things you need to know. I mean, like
Yeah.
I don't know that I would be sad. I mean, I would be sad, but I think I would be like on a
focused.
okay, I've got to get all this out in
Yeah.
this meal because this is it. Yeah.
Okay.
She would be one of
Kennedy.
Yeah, you've got
I
more
don't-
than one child, so this could be tough for you.
They're
Yeah.
out, they're out.
You can't pick one.
First one would be Mark Twain because he cracks me up, and I think it'd be fun. He'd keep my
I
mind
wonder
off
what he was like talking to them.
And that's what I would hope, that he would be cool.
What movie was it where there was a fiction? Well, it might have been Mark Twain. I don't know. There was a fictional Mark Twain, and I remember watching the movie, and I can't remember who played it. I want to say Tom Hanks because he plays everything, but maybe I'm wrong about that. And I remember thinking, I wonder if that's really what Mark Twain was like.
I don't know, but he makes me laugh. And
Yeah.
then Mother Teresa, just to kind of grease the skids. If this is my last meal,
Right.
I'd be like Kennedy. Tell me what I need to do. But like this, come on. Me.
She doesn't seem like she eats a lot either, so she
No,
probably
I
be a
could
cheap
I
date.
could probably have her dessert too.
Yeah, no, I don't
She
think she's
probably-
gonna clean her plate.
You're good. Okay, come on.
Mother Teresa.
Oh, man.
You got one more. You got two.
Yeah, for me, I mean, I would steer away from family, obviously, my wife and kids, or parents or
Well,
grandparents.
you'd have to choose your wife and favorite kid.
Yeah, I know, because I've got two kids.
I
So that's gonna make that tough. So I don't want to make anybody jealous.
No,
So I'd
don't
steer
make
away from
anybody
them. I'm trying to think of historical figures. See, I'm not one of those, like, if you told me, and I'm just gonna estimate this number, but if you told me, hey, so and so is downtown.
Okay.
And
Mm.
I've got special access and we can go meet them. There might be like 5 people on this earth I would do that for.
That's another
That's a-
question.
Well, but
That's
I,
been off.
no,
Who are
I
the
just
5
said no.
people?
I just said that's a estimated number because I don't
Yeah.
know who the 5 are. Like any sitting president, whether I voted for them or not, I think if you meet a sitting
That's what
president,
I was going to say
Yeah,
for
I
my
mean,
answer.
whether I voted for them or not, meeting a president is something you don't get to do every day. So I'd probably do that.
And I think if it's my last meal, like, look, I'm dying soon, so give me all the info.
Well,
Yeah.
but
Like-
honestly, I want to qualify this with saying I want these people at their coolest. Like,
Yeah.
I would love to sit and talk to David Letterman and just talk to him about his years of working and talking and just how he went about his job. But I want him being cool and not a dick.
Yeah.
Same thing as Will Ferrell. If Will Ferrell's sitting across, I want him to be cool. I don't want him to be a dick
Yeah.
because I've heard he can be. Which
Yeah.
hey,
See, that's the thing. You don't know. Are you catching the guy that doesn't have time for me?
Yeah.
Or is it the person I've seen on TV that
right.
Because I think you guys know this because you've been around like really, really funny people like that are often the exact opposite off camera.
yeah.
Like they turn
they're
it off
angry
and
and
they're angry and
depressed
depressed and
like,
yeah.
insecure.
Well, but, I mean, imagine everybody walking up to you going, say something funny.
Oh, I know.
You're like,
Yeah.
dude.
No, yeah.
that's
Like
it.
I love Chelsea Handler,
Mhm.
and I used to really love her. And so when Last Chance U came out, we were in LA, and they took me to a live screening of her show, like surprised me. And they were like, we're taking you to the Chelsea Handler show. And I was so stoked. I mean, I was like freaking out. And I got to go back and meet her, and no.
That's tough.
Disappointing.
It is the like, I will say the one hero I've met who turned out to be as cool as I thought they were would be Charles Barkley.
No, Charles.
Oh, yeah.
So
I had him up
Yeah.
on a pedestal. I was afraid to meet
Mhm.
him. Like the first time he came through Birmingham, and I was here working, and I was terrified. And I met him, and I was just like, "Meet your heroes."
So I'll tell you a Charles Barkley story. So I've been out with him a lot, and he is that guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he's exactly out like he is on TV.
Right.
Like,
As
I've met him.
authentic
He's
as
awesome.
yeah. he
yeah, I
is,
mean, he's just what you see on TV is the Charles you
Yep.
get out in
Yep.
public. There is no different. But I have also been with him. Dunaway was not with us, as Lance and I were with him one night having drinks, and there was a drunk. And this just shows you how stuff like this gets blown out of proportion. So this guy comes over,
Mhm.
asks for a picture. Charles is extremely nice. Yes, I'll take a picture with you. So he gets the picture. We go back to talking. The guy comes over again. I can't remember what he asked for the second time. Charles is nice to him. Yeah, buddy, I'll do it. So he does it. Guy comes over the third time. He's like, hey, it's my daughter's birthday. And this guy is drunk off
It's
his
2 a.m. Let's
Yeah.
call her.
It's
You
my
know,
daughter's. Would you do a video for her? And Charles was like, man, I
enough.
took a picture with you. I've said I'm not going to do it, man. I'm trying to have dinner with my friends. Leave me alone. And I'm like, that guy could go say that one
Yeah.
interaction with Charles, make Charles look like a total tool. Charles was as nice as he could be
Yeah.
to that guy. That guy was taking advantage of the
Yeah.
situation,
Yeah.
right? And that kind of opened my eyes to like
Oh,
a big celebrity
absolutely.
like that. That's how you see them in those situations. You don't always see the whole story.
No, yeah. I was at the Bohemian with Courtney Cox, and it was drunk fest, and people were in there. It was when that golfer got married in Birmingham, Bubba, whatever.
No, not Bubba Watson. Smiley Kaufman.
Yeah, got married. Bubba. I just made Bubba Watson get married. Smiley got married in Birmingham, and all of the
Yeah, Jordan
Thomas
Spieth was
and
here,
They were
Justin
all,
Thomas,
we were
Ricky
all
Fowler.
like we
Yep.
were at the Bohemian, and then they were at the Bohemian, and it was like kind of crazy.
Wow.
I know.
Big
We all
time.
got one
Big
big
night.
table
Yeah.
eventually because they were like, "That's Courtney Cox," and we were like, "That's Jordan Spieth," and then it
Yeah.
was like, "Let's just all sit together." But these drunk girls kept coming by and pulling Courtney's hair, like just walking behind her and like yanking her hair. And like the first couple times, like she's just like,
Ow.
you
Not
know,
cool.
like and
Yeah.
trying to ignore it. And I was feeling like really bad for her. I mean, they were picking on her, you
Yeah.
know, like pulling her hair and then like bumping into her, and then and they're like, "Oh, Monica," and like
Oh,
just being
the worst.
So, like,
ridiculous.
that's really
and,
yeah.
and-
Because she's never gotten that before.
right.
Yeah.
And
Very
I
original.
watched her like just trying to ignore,
Yeah.
and then you reach your limit where you're like, "Bitch, stop."
Is that what she said?
No, but I mean,
but
I
you
wanted
wanted her
to
to
say
say
it.
that, right?
Yeah, like I
Yeah.
wanted to go fight somebody for her because I'm like,
Mhm.
that's just rude. Like, leave
Mhm.
us alone. Yeah, I
Yeah.
went and got security.
Look at you.
I
Did
was a
security do anything?
tattletale that was
Yeah.
like, we need security.
Did they do anything?
Yeah, they like stood there around our table.
Oh, now you feel real big time. Got security around the table.
Yeah.
Elizabeth from Chelsea, if you could relive any period of your life, what years would you go back to?
Oh. I said this like 2 days ago, so crazy that question
That is
came
weird.
in.
The phones listen.
That my 30s like were I feel like 35 to 42.
Wait, relive them to redo them or relive them because they were fun?
Relive
Well,
them 'cause I
either way,
just feel like those were my
Elizabeth
best
from
years.
Chelsea left this very open-ended.
Yeah. I just feel like those were my
So
best.
what
I
decade?
don't know. 35 to 42.
35 to 42?
Yeah.
Okay.
How old are you now?
45.
Okay.
I would not relive
I
my
did not mean. I was just trying to put
late
that in
40s,
parameter for
but-
like when people are like, okay, so
Yeah.
recently, so fairly recently.
fairly
Yeah.
recently.
So the next Netflix years, basically.
Yeah. Well,
Would you go back and do that over again?
yeah,
Would you?
maybe, yeah. I don't know. Some of it.
Yeah. I mean, it changed your life, though.
Some of
Yeah.
it I would, yeah.
Yeah,
Some of it for sure.
I don't know.
Would you go back and work in TV again?
In a different, if my life went like that, probably.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I always joke that like I had decision, like honestly, God created pathways at each point. Like,
Right.
let's see, I meet my husband, I get a job offer in Atlanta. Do I stay in Birmingham to stay with him, or do I go on to
Right.
Atlanta and keep my career going?
Yeah.
I'm about to have my daughter, our first child. I get an offer from ESPN asking about evening radio that I could do in Birmingham. It
Right.
would be 9 to midnight. and I'm about to have our first child. So it's just things like that where I'm like,
Yeah.
would I do TV again? I don't know. If I didn't get married, I probably still would be. I don't know. Like my 20s were sure fun. But then again, I didn't get married till I was 28. So my 20s were a good time.
Were you here? How old were you when you were at 33, 40?
Moved here. I just turned 24.
Okay. So your 20s in Birmingham then?
Yeah. Well, I mean, end of college. Let's say that.
Yeah.
That was a good time.
Yeah. I mean, I remember, this is so Southern redneck sounding, but my senior year in high school was so
The
freaking
best.
fun.
Varsity
It
Blues,
really
the
was.
best.
No,
year.
it was. I
My
just
senior year was really fun.
like I only remember the fun times. I don't remember a bad day of my senior year in high school.
Yeah, I don't
But
think I
that's
do either.
good.
My senior
Yeah.
year in high school was really fun.
And it was almost like this is the Southern redneck
Did you
part.
have a
but this,
pig?
I did not have a
giant
pig.
pig?
Did you have
We
an
had no
above
farm
ground
animals.
pool?
I did not have an above ground
Woo!
pool. Don't
Okay.
judge all of us
You
Calhoun
didn't grow
County
up in
people.
Jacksonville.
No, I did not.
Well, close enough.
But I will say this is close to an above ground pool.
Okay.
There was this about 10 minutes north of Saks, which is the community I grew up in,
Yeah.
right? There was this creek that pulled up like in
Oh,
a
God.
watering hole, okay?
Oh,
And it
goodness.
was deep and cold water because it was in the creek, ran through the shade all day.
Going down to the water. And
And so we'd go to the water, and there was a rope swing. We'd put up a rope swing, and people would just swing out. They'd do flips and land in it. And it was the first place I saw somebody smoke weed. And
And
then,
until Reggie broke his neck off that.
yeah, no, it was begging for something bad to happen. And we would go there like in the hot summer days after school, and we would just hang out. I mean, nobody was doing anything wrong until the weed showed up. And then a guy had a gun and started firing off
Well,
rounds after
there
smoking
you
weed, and
go.
that's what ended it all. We're
And
like,
that's how weed is a
Yep,
gateway drug,
yep,
guys.
yep.
That's exactly
so
what happens.
yeah, no. So, but I mean, up until that point, it was just friends hanging out, and
Yeah.
it was so freaking fun, and like time stood still.
Wasn't there like an outdoor water park in them parts up there?
Yes, this
that
is
was on a
I've been
lake.
there.
Yeah, this
And, like,
that was Crystal Springs.
I've been there. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I've
Yeah,
been
yeah,
there.
yeah. And this was right by that, Brittany.
Oh,
This is
okay.
I think the same water fed both of them.
It's like they dub it as like outdoor water park, and then you drive up and you're like, "Now, boy, you done put a tire swing in a lake and called it a water
I
park."
mean, outdoor water park is a stretch for that. I would agree. And
I
I
think he
think
was
so.
using creative license.
yeah.
Urban Dictionary. What
Exactly.
does outdoor water park
No,
mean?
because when you say that, I think of like Whitewater. When I was a kid, I used to go to Whitewater
Yeah.
until Walt Weiss's kid almost died because of it.
Well,
You remember
the
that?
E. coli does not.
Do you remember
deserve-
that, though?
Oh yeah.
Some kid took a
yeah, I
crap
do.
in the wave
Shut
pool.
up.
No, it's exactly what happened. And a bunch of
Died
kids almost
full-
died.
yeah.
And Walt Weiss was the Brave shortstop at the time, right?
Yep.
And he was one of the kids that almost
Wait, where
died.
was this?
It is in Atlanta.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
picked the wrong kid to fuck with, E. coli, because that took the whole damn water park down with you.
Yeah, I mean that's shut down now.
Oh,
right?
it did?
Six
No,
Flags
no.
owned it.
I think Whitewater's still open.
Yeah.
Well,
We've.
we just ruined that.
No, that's not
Oh,
open
everybody ruins that story
now.
around here.
No,
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I mean, I think my husband
Yikes.
always takes our children at an inappropriately young age to those places.
What year do you think that was? 90. It was in the 90s, obviously. Walt Weiss was in
Yeah,
Atlanta.
yeah.
97, probably.
Yeah.
Because I remember that was the first time I was aware of
99.
communal bodies of water. I'm like, come to think of it, I don't know these people and I don't know their bathing habits and I don't know what they're doing under the water there. It does make you think, like when a kid
Oh.
almost dies because he ingested the water at Whitewater.
That's what I mean. I'll tell you, water parks. You
Oh.
want to talk about a self-esteem tour? You go to a water park.
Make you feel
You
better.
go to yes, you go to a water park. You look at yourself and you're like, I'm doing okay. I
Or
am
you
doing.
can go to some beaches around here. And,
Oh, there's no doubt.
You're
Yeah.
like, wow. You know what I say though when you see that? Those people just lost 5 pounds. That girl just lost 5 pounds.
And she's
See, and you're
'Cause
so
she's
much-
feeling
that's why-
good.
that's why
That's
you're a
right.
She's feeling good about herself. She lost 5 pounds. She's like,
Would-
I can wear this bikini now.
Would you agree
Woo.
with?
Can and should. Are
Yeah,
not
I was gonna say,
Not too
would,
much, girl.
would
Come
you
on.
agree with just because you can purchase a bikini doesn't mean you can wear one, right?
You are correct.
Yeah. Is that a good rule of thumb
That
to
is
live
a
by?
very good rule of
two
thumb.
sides of the same coin.
And
So
maybe
that's just-
you should lose 10, not just
Yeah,
5.
but good for you. You're on your
Good for
way.
you.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah. I mean,
Awesome job.
yeah.
Quit eating a little bit longer.
But if you walked through the water park instead of taking the little scooter to each one.
It might work. Thank
Yes.
you. Yes, thank you for those emails. All right, so it is next round cocktails. The time flies when I'm in here. I don't know.
I
if
know,
Is
right?
it just me?
Does it go
It's you.
faster
Oh,
than
thank
your
you.
own show?
It's
Is
just
this-
you.
Well, our own show's 4 hours.
1,900 hours long.
This has
so-
been 45
See,
minutes.
I
So.
know, 45 minutes.
I know,
here,
just
it's
flew
just-
by.
I know.
Next round cocktails, a line of crowd-pleasing cocktails made with real fruit juice and premium wines that you both finished a glass. Stylishly packaged. Next round cocktails, they are drinking the Rosé Sangria, strawberry
good.
lime. Very good. You can find more at drinknextround.com. That is drinknextround.com. Also, our friends at Blakely's Bouquets, traditional and contemporary bouquets, plenty of room for customization and uniqueness. Anniversary arrangements, baby gifts, birthday flowers, wedding flowers, sympathy, funeral flowers, all at blakeleysbouquets.com. blakeleysbouquets.com.
Christmas flowers. My Christmas flowers from that last week are still kicking it, by the way.
I don't doubt it.
I don't
Oh,
know
the
what
ones
they
that were up
put
here?
in that
Yeah.
water to make those things live that long.
Have you
But
not watered them?
yeah, but
Oh.
I'm just saying, like, they are like, they still look
They're
exactly
prolific,
like
yeah.
they looked the day that
And
I
smell
brought them
just as good.
home.
That's
It's crazy.
Well, I mean, that's a testament to Blakely's
I
Bouquets.
know.
Hey, thank you for joining us.
Hey,
I know y'all draw
anytime.
the short straw.
No, it's a rotation. We just rotate.
Y'all do?
Of course.
So
Haven't
who's
you
next
noticed
week?
that somebody
No.
different? I don't know.
Nobody's like, I want to do it for a second time in a row.
No.
You know that nobody's like, I had such
I
a
don't-
good time. I want to come back again.
I don't know if y'all know this. We have a lot going on up here.
I know.
right?
I know that
Y'all
you
have
do.
1,900.
I know.
I know.
I know. So
24-hour program. Since Headline News is gone, y'all need to.
I'm going to say I think Rockstar is up next. Could be Dunaway. Then Lance just did last week, didn't he?
Mhm.
Yeah. So it's either Rockstar or Dunaway, one of the two.
Okay.
All right, so that's what you
Alrighty.
got to look forward to next time. All right, give us a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe and set your alerts on YouTube. Share this anywhere you can. Tell everyone you know about the Next Round Cocktail Hour and Next Round. We'll see you at 9 o'clock tomorrow and see you next week on Next Round Cocktail Hour.